Okay, so you should have done your quad, making the 3 layers and coloring in my choice. So then you should have saved it. So once you have 3 layers or 4 layers in there, if you save it to your desktop and then put it in your folder, then you see that I have the PSD file in here. Now I can open it and close it and save it through Photopea. Now, sometimes you have to check it because I don't always trust it, but if you, I saved my file to my desktop and then I put it back in my folder just by dragging it in. And I renamed it. I just renamed it my last name, first initial quad, and you see that it has the PSD. So when I want to open it, I just double click on it. And then if you've already added the Connect More Apps Photopea, then you can open with Photopea. Sometimes it doesn't always open right away. If it doesn't open, just close the Photopea and just reopen again, because sometimes I have to do it twice. I don't know why. But now you can see that I've colored my color theory. I've also used some gradients in here. I kind of played around with it, and I can show you how to do the gradients if you want to change anything. But once you do a gradient, it's hard to change it back because you have to kind of jump back and forth on layers to erase it if you don't like it. So for right now, don't use gradients. And next week when I come back, if you want to change anything to a gradient, you can. If you can figure it out, fine, but I don't really want you to try it because if you mess it up, then it's hard to fix. Okay, but you can change things to gradients like from orange to yellow later, right? But for right now, just use solid. So I've done my choice. I have background, my choice, color theory, and texture, right? Be careful about having the move tool. If you can't see these transform controls, this is right here, this little transform controls button. See how it turns them on and off? I always like to keep them on so I can see that they're there, but I'm gonna just click to this selection tool right here so I don't accidentally grab it, okay, for right now. Because sometimes people accidentally grab their files and then they end up moving them over and then they're not lined up, right? So look what happened. If I highlight this and I turn off all the other layers, you can see that I accidentally moved that, okay? So I'm gonna put it back. There, okay, it's back. And that's why I want you to not have it on there because you might accidentally move it. All right, so I've colored my choice, right? It's all done. I'm happy. I love it. It's well balanced with color, right? I've got the orange and things are balanced and it looks very unified and I'm done with my choice. So the next one we're going to do is color theory. So what I like to do is I like to have everything hidden except the layer I'm working on. So you must select it. See how it's highlighted? And then turn it on by clicking the eyeball. So now I have a brand new layer to color. Yes, we are going to do 3 different versions and they're lots of fun and they're really cool. So before you watch this video, if you have not yet, go back and look at the color theory presentation. So I have the slideshow, right? Presentation. I want you to look through this and read them so you understand what color theory is. We're going to revisit that in this video, but I would like you to stop and go back and read the color theory slides first. Okay, so you have a choice. So on your color theory layer, you only have to pick one, right? So at the very end of the slideshow, if you scroll down the end of the slideshow, you'll see you have choices, right? You only have to do one, right? Look at that. You only have to do one, right? So you can choose from a triad, complementary colors, analogous colors, or monochromatic. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to read through this slideshow, and then you're going to decide, do I want a triad? So don't get confused between triad and tertiary, because they both are related to 3, but you can use tertiary colors as a triad, but a triad is a perfect triangle on the color wheel. Okay, so I can pick red, yellow, and blue, which are primary colors, but they're also a triangle, right? So they form a triangle. I can pick orange, green, and violet, which are the secondary colors, and they also form a triad, right? They form a triangle on the color wheel. So primary colors are a triad, secondary colors are a triad, and then these tertiary colors are a triad. Okay, so you can pick red, orange, blue, violet, or green, yellow. So you're picking 3 colors. Or you can pick red, violet, yellow, orange, and blue, green. Okay, so it's your choice. You pick 3 colors that form a triangle on the color wheel. And that's your choices for a triad. Okay, then the other one is complementary colors. Now, some students have been confused because of my little diagram, and I should probably change it because it's not all 6 of these colors that are highlighted. Okay, red and green are opposite of each other on the color wheel. It's 2 colors, only 2. So if you're going to do complementary colors, it can only be 2 colors plus shades and tints of the colors. So red and green are your choices if you choose complementary, or orange and blue, or violet and yellow. Okay, so you can pick complementary and pick a pair of colors, or you can do analogous. So analogous colors are next to each other on the color wheel. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You can pick 4 colors. Okay, so you could pick red, red, orange, orange, and yellow, orange. And those 4 colors right here would be your analogous color choices. Or you could pick yellow, green, green, blue, green, and blue. And those 4 colors can be your analogous color choices. It can be any 4 in a row, but they have to be touching. So they have to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so they have to be next door neighbors in each one in a line. It can be any 4 as long as they're all connected. And then you have the choice of monochromatic, which is a single color. So you can pick red or blue or green or any color, and then you make tints and shades of it. So this is a value scale showing red and adding white to it till it gets all the way light to white, or adding black to it as it gets darker, darker red to black. See all these colors right here? You can use all of these, right? So if you pick a single color, pure red, all of this can be done. And I'm going to show you how to do that. All right, so I'm just going to choose complementary so that you can see how that works. Okay, so we have complementary, right? And I think I'm going to pick red and green, right? So I'm going to pick red and green, and I'm going to go to my Photopea document, and I'm on color theory. So I'm going to double click, and I'm going to add complementary. So I want you to tell me complementary. I want you to tell me which color theory you've chosen. Okay, so I should see that you're picking complementary. It's not showing all of the word, but so, and you don't have to tell me which ones, it should be obvious to me. So I'm picking red and green. So I'm just going to color a couple of things. I'm not going to sit here and color, just like I didn't color the whole my choice for you. But just to show you what to do, only on the color theory layer, keeping these other things, you should have this file. And every time you go back to it, it should be updated, right? So I'm going to I picked red and green. So what you do is you want to first pick a nice clean red. So I'm going to go all the way to the top or all the way to the bottom. because the red goes from red to red. It kind of this actually, if you took it and made it into a circle, it would be like the color wheel. So the rainbow basically goes in a circle, and actual rainbows do form an arch. So I'm going to pick the red. So I'm going to pick a nice red, and it's going to be right in the corner of the color picker. Okay, so see, whenever I pick a color, it shows you what the new color is. This red is going to be my base red. So I'm going to use, remember how the paint bucket is nested with the gradient tool? It's always, defaults back to the gradient. So we're going to pick the paint bucket, and I'm going to just color, I'm going to color something, making sure I'm on the correct layer, color theory, and I'm going to color something with red. Okay, and then my other choice is green. So I'm going to color something else with green. So I'm going to pick a green using the slider on the spectrum here. Pick a nice basic green. And I'm going to go up into the corner, and it's going to be what's in the corner, and I'm going to click OK. So I'm going to do something green with this. Okay, so now those are my two complementary colors. You only pick two, it's not six, it's the two things that are opposite on the color wheel. So again, opposite, red and green. Right. So now I've got that. How can I color all of this with just two colors? That's going to be so boring and crazy. No, I don't want to do that. Well, you have choices. So now you can do things like use dark and light versions of the color. So I want to make a darker green. So I've got green on there, and I click on it. And if you want to do shades, which is, whoops, I accidentally, let's go back, just cancel that, click the X. I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to go down. So go in here and click in here. Don't go in here because you're going to get grays. You don't want to have grays. It'll be dull. I don't want you to go in this area. I want you to stay along here. So look at this. I can make it lighter green if I pick anything along this edge. So just stay on the edge or stay on the edge. But what happens when I tried to click on here, it accidentally hit this little rainbow. I think in Photoshop they're more separated, but so just click over here and then drag it along the edge to where you want it. Okay, if you accidentally like try to click over here and you accidentally click this and change the color, just cancel it, come back, and and then just click over here and then slide. So I want to get a dark green. So I'm going to use a dark green. I'm going to click OK, and now I have a dark green, and I'm going to color like the background of my sky with some dark green, maybe. Okay, so look at how I have these this nice contrast of lights and darks against each other. I can use the red on this. This still looks like a sun to me, so I can use red. Like when I want to get the color again, I can click on the color wheel, and then I can just click on, see how I see when I clicked on the red, how it brought the red up, or if I click on the green, it brings the green back. So once you put your base color on something, you can always go back to the base color. So always do your base color and then choose your lights and darks. So I want to do red, and I'm going to do like a dark red. Click OK, and I'm going to make this, and then I'm going to make it a little lighter. And I'm going to color this, and then I'm going to make it a little bit lighter. And color this. So see how I've like made it different tints and shades, right? And then I'm going to use the brightest red, and I'm going to do that thing where I zoom in, and I'm going to color every other one. So I'm going to click on, oops, I accidentally hit a line. What do I do right away? Control or Command Z. And the reason why I don't want you to color things in black is if I accidentally color the line and I need to fix it back to black and I forgot to do it, anything that's black, it's going to join it and it's going to color that. So don't color stuff black, okay? So I'm going to color every other one, and then I'm going to click on the red again on my color picker, and I'm going to use a lighter red. I might have even used something lighter, but there I go, right? Okay. And then Command 0 brings it back down. So now you can see how you can choose multiple tints and shades of the same color, and it's all going to be red and green. So I'm done for the day, right? This should only take you a few days really to do once you understand what to do. Hopefully you'll finish up my choice. And then I'm going to save it. So because I opened the Photoshop file, right? I saved it as a PSD yesterday. Oops, let me get this bit. Get this dark color. I meant to get that. All right. So now I want to save it. So if I've saved it before, I saved it on my desktop, and I don't have to do that anymore if I put the PSD file in my CG1 folder. Now I can just go to File, be really careful, and do, I'm going to click over here again, File, Save Google Drive. So look, it says it's saving it, and it says it's updated. If you're really not sure, you can always, if you keep your folder open, you can click on it and go back to the file and open it and see. So I can see that what I did today is in this folder now. Okay, so tomorrow when I come back, now I can safely close it because I know it's good. And tomorrow I'll come back to class and I'll just double click on it and I'll open it with Photopea. Right, it's loading the file. Sometimes it says it's loading, but then it's not really telling me the truth. It didn't open, but I know I saved it yesterday because I checked it. I'm going to close it. I'm going to try again. I don't know why it does this. That's why I don't totally trust it. That's why I want you to check your folder. I'm going to close this. I'm going to refresh this. I'm going to go back here, refresh, see if that works. Color. Click on this, open with Photopea, and eventually it'll open. Look at how many times I had to try to do it, like 3, right? It says it's loading. Yep, there it is. Okay, so now today, now remember how I don't want you to accidentally move it, just switch off or switch to your paint bucket so that you can just continue working. Okay, and then the next day I come in and I go, okay, I'm gonna click and I'm gonna choose this green, and I think I'm gonna make a dark green, but not as dark as the darkest green. And then I'm going to, I don't like that, so I'm going to undo. It's not light enough for me. I'm going to click back up here. I'm going to go here and click OK. And then I can do some changes. So see how there's still a little contrast there? It's not the same green. So it gives a little depth. This one looks like it's in front. This one looks like it's behind. I'll probably do this one as a red, maybe a lighter red. So I can click on here, click there, change it to something lighter. Okay. And there I have it. And now when I want to do something really tiny, I zoom way in, right? Because I don't want to accidentally click the black line. And then Command 0, Control 0 to bring it back down. So that's what I want. I want you to finish coloring your color theory. Whichever choice you have, make sure that you change it. So it says complementary or triad or analogous or monochromatic. You get to pick. Just make sure you change the name so I know which one it is. It should be obvious to me. And then when you're done, you should be turning in something that has all of these layers. So my choice is still there, and then my color theory will be finished and in there. And that's what you're going to turn in. So have fun, and I'll see you all next week. So have a good time doing this. You should be enjoying it. It's fun. If you're having difficulty, please ask somebody that you see in class that looks like they know what they're doing. If you see someone that's happily coloring away, say, can you please help me? And those of you that are happily coloring away, please be helpful to those who are asking for help. Have a great week.